Hello everyone. The next topic which we will be discussing here is about the blood groups. So, a blood type or a blood group is a classification of the blood which is based on the presence of the or absence of the antibodies and the inherited antigenic substances that is present on the surface of the red blood cells, that is also called as the RBCs. So here we will be discussing about the different types of ABO blood group system and RH blood group system, and what is the importance of studying the blood groups or blood type. So let's start with the first slide here, that blood groups, that are also known as the blood types. It can be defined as the grouping of blood, and they are based on the presence or absence of the genetically derived antigenic substances on the surface of the red blood cells, that is the RBCs. Now, the antigenic substances can be either be carbohydrates, glycolipids, proteins, glycoproteins, and depending on the blood group system. So some of these antigens, they're also present on the surface of other types of cells of various tissues. So there are several of these red blood cell surface antigens that can stem from one allele and collectively form a blood group system. So as per the data of 2019, it has been reported that a total of 41 blood group systems are being recognized by the International Society of Blood Transfusion. And the most important blood group systems are ABO and the RH. They determine someone's blood type as A, B, AB, and O, with positive and negative or null denoting RHD status. So this is what the blood group are. So what here we will be discussing is about the history of the blood group. So the scientist that got a Nobel Prize for this discovery of blood group system was the Carl Landsteiner in 1901. So he was an Australian scientist and he discovered the ABO blood group system in the year 1901. So in his experiments, what he did was he mixed different blood types and noted that the plasma from certain blood type produced alginates or formed clusters which were caused by the absence of molecules on the red blood cells and resulting in antibodies to defeat that molecule. So he then made a note of this augmentation and divided the blood types into 4 different groups. For the discovery of this ABO blood group, he was awarded the Nobel Prize. So based on his observation, he formulated this Landsteiner rule, in which he classified this ABO blood group system that consists of 4 blood groups here, that are A, B, A blood group, B blood group, AB blood group, and O blood group. So as per his law, he states that if there is an antigen in individual RBC, the matching antibody will be present in their plasma under any normal situation. So this was the history of the blood group system that was being discovered by an Austrian scientist. Now, there are different types of blood groups. Now, there are 4 types of blood group, that is blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, and blood group O. So these are the 4 types. Now we will be discussing each of these 4 types. So first we will discuss that what these blood groups have. So as we know that the blood group system is present on the red blood cells. So all these have the A blood group, B, AB, and O. They are present on the RBCs. Now antibodies in the plasma. So in blood group A, they have anti-B antibodies. In blood group B, it have anti-A antibodies. In AB, they don't have any antibodies, but in blood group O, they have both the anti-A as well as the anti-B antibodies. And if we talk about the antigens in red blood cells, then A have the A antigen, B have the B antigen, AB have the AB antigen, and in the O blood group that doesn't have any antigen. So this is the overall thing which we will be discussing about the blood group system. Now blood group A, which is there is a presence of antigen A on the RBCs and antibody B in the plasma, as it was depicted in the figure as well. In B, it is the presence of antigen B on the RBCs and A antibody in the plasma. AB, there is a presence of both on AB antigen on the red blood cells and they lack the antibody. If we talk about O blood group, then it is the absence of antigen A and B in the red blood cells, and there is a presence of both the antibodies A and B in the plasma. So this ABO group system is important during the blood donation or blood transfusion, as mismatching of blood group can lead to clumping of the red blood cells with various kinds of disorder. So it is very important for the blood cells to match while the transfusion. So that is the donor recipient compatibility which is necessary. So this is a term which is necessary when there is a blood transfusion. So for example, if here I take an example, then a person of blood group A can receive either from the blood group A or the O, as there is no antibodies for A and O in the blood group A. So that is why the figure was being represented, to just make you understand that how this system works. So if the person A is having a blood group A, he can receive the blood from either blood group A or blood group B, because the blood group O, they have the antibodies of anti-A and anti-B. So that means that they can receive from A as well. Now, what is the RH blood group system? So, in addition to the ABO blood grouping, the other prominent one is the RH grouping. So, about 1/3 of the population, they contains the third antigen on the surface of RBCs, which is known as the RH factor or RH antigen. What it does is, this RH antigen or RH factor, it will decide whether the blood group will be positive or it will be negative. So if RH factor is present, then the individual is positive. For example, A positive, B positive, AB positive. And if the RH factor is absent from that individual, then it will be RH negative, which means they produce the RH bodies. So therefore there is a compatibility between the donor and the individual. That is very crucial in this case. Now, so this is the blood type and RH positive and RH negative groups. So if we talk about the blood group A, then there is a RH positive RH factor which is present on this individual, so it will be termed as A positive. So in this there is a B positive group, AB positive and O positive. And if the RH factor, it is absent from the individual, then it will be termed as negative. For example, A negative, B negative, AB negative and O negative. So this is the absence and the presence of RH factor, which leads to the positive and the negative signs. Now, what is the importance of this blood group system? So the significance of the blood group system is to ensure that there is a blood transfusion, there is a safe blood transfusion. So to elaborate on this, so if a blood type which is not the same as ours is introduced in our body, so that immune system will recognize it as a foreign body, and as a result it will lead to a transfusion reaction which often is fatal. So that is why before transfusion, it is recommended to get the blood checked. So if the person is having A blood group, he will he will be taking the blood from that person who is having the blood group A or the blood group O. So additionally, there is a system of blood groups and its importance which has found applications in the diseases such as hemolytic diseases, which resolves the parentability disputes and medico-legal cases also. So this is the importance of the blood group system. Now, this is a table which is showing that there are different blood types and compatible blood type donors. So for example, if a person having A positive blood group, then he will receive the blood from A positive, A negative, O positive and O negative, and he can donate blood to A positive and AB positive. If the person is having the B positive blood group, then he may receive blood from B positive, B negative, O positive and O negative, and he can donate the blood to B positive and AB positive. So AB positive, if the person is having A positive, he can receive the blood from all the types of blood group. So it can be A positive, B positive, AB positive, A negative, O positive, O negative, and he can only donate to AB positive. So he can only donate to AB positive. If the person is having blood group O positive, then he can receive blood from O positive and O negative, because they have both the types of antibodies, that is the anti-A and the anti-B, and he can donate blood to O positive, A positive, B positive and AB positive. If the person is having A negative blood group, then he can receive from A negative and O negative and donate to A positive, A negative, AB positive and A negative. And if the person is having O negative blood group, then he can donate to all the types of blood group and receive only from O negative. Similarly, in case of B negative, where he can receive from B negative and O negative and donate to B positive, B negative, AB positive and AB negative. And the last is AB negative, where he can receive blood from A negative, AB negative, B negative and O negative and donate bloods to AB positive and AB negative. So this was all about the blood groups. These are some of the references.